The sky bled red, a bad omen. The elders murmured among themselves, their faces dark with worry as they watched the horizon swallow the sun. Shadows stretched across the village of Bakura, and in the silence of the coming night a woman screamed. It was not the scream of pain, but of madness. Panda stood outside the royal palace, his muscular chest rising and falling in ragged breaths, his eyes wild, his lips cracked from days of wandering. "She is mine," he howled, clawing at his own skin. "Adu belongs to me." But Adu, the princess of Bakura, stood beside her betrothed Lingo, her face etched with fear. The man before her was not the panda she once knew, a strong, ruthless warrior with a heart full of fire. No, this was a broken man, and she knew why. Magic. The villagers whispered about it, about how Panda had changed, about how one moment he had the princess in his grasp, and the next, he was lost to madness. They whispered a name, Sifu, the Shamanka. Panda had never known how to take no for an answer. From the moment he saw Princess Adu, he wanted her, but his love was a twisted thing, an obsession that festered in his soul. He watched her from the shadows, envied the way she smiled at Lingo, the way her laughter belonged to another man. He hated it. Lingo was everything he was not, golden-skinned, handsome, a warrior of great skill. He was a man of honor, the kind of man Adu's father, the king, wanted for his daughter. But Panda would not accept it. He needed to take matters into his own hands. So he went to the forbidden part of the forest, where few dared to tread, a place where the trees whispered secrets, and the air smelled of old magic. He followed a narrow path until he reached a hut made of bones and woven reeds. Zuberi, the dark-skinned shamanka of the wild, stepped out before he could knock. A sleek black cat curled around her ankles, its green eyes glowing in the dark. She was breathtaking, tall and fierce, her eyes sharp like a predator. "You come seeking what is not yours," she said, tilting her head. "I felt your hunger in the wind." Panda fell to his knees. "Give her to me," he begged. Zuberi smiled. "Love cannot be taken," she said. "But desire can be controlled." She pulled a pouch from the folds of her robes, a fine powder that shimmered in the moonlight. "Rub this on your face, touch her, speak the word Baranada. She will forget Lingo, she will be yours." Panda did not hesitate. That night, under the pale glow of the moon, Adu stood among her maidens, watching the village's best warriors compete in a grand festival. The drums beat loud, filling the air with excitement, and then Panda stepped forward. He walked through the crowd, brushing past Adu's arm, his fingers barely grazing her skin. He whispered, "Baranada." The world shifted. Adu's vision blurred, her heart stuttered. She turned, locking eyes with Panda, and in that moment, she was his. The love she once had for Lingo faded, replaced by a burning desire for the man before her. When Lingo came to claim her hand, she pushed him away. "I do not love you," she declared before the entire village. "I choose Panda." Gasps filled the air. The king rose in anger. "This is madness," he roared. But Adu would not listen. She belonged to Panda now, and in the days that followed she refused food, refused rest, until the king had no choice but to announce their union. Lingo was devastated, but deep in his heart he knew this was not his Adu. Lingo climbed the mountain alone. He had heard the stories of the albino Shamanka, Seifu, the one with golden eyes that glowed in the dark. She was feared and respected, for her magic was old, ancient, and unforgiving. When he arrived at her cave, she was already waiting. "You seek the truth," she said, "but truth is a heavy burden." Lingo dropped to his knees. "Tell me, Sifu, what has happened to my love?" Sifu turned to the fire in front of her, watching the flames dance. "She has been taken by magic," she murmured. "The love she has for you is buried under a spell of great power." Lingo clenched his fists. "Then break it." Sifu's golden eyes flickered towards him. "Breaking magic is not so simple," she said. "The spirits demand balance. To undo a spell, a great ritual must be performed, and you must bring Adu to me before the next full moon." Convincing Adu was nearly impossible. She fought against Lingo's words, refusing to believe she was under a spell. But deep inside, something felt wrong. Her heart ached in a way she couldn't understand. And so, one night, she agreed. She followed Lingo up the mountain. Sifu was waiting, her staff in hand, her white snake wrapped around her shoulders. The fire blazed high, casting strange shadows against the walls. Adu shivered. "The spirits are listening," Sifu whispered. "Let us begin." She placed Adu in the center of a sacred circle and started the chant. The air thickened, the wind howled, and suddenly, the fire exploded. Zuberi emerged from the flames, her black cat perched on her shoulder, its emerald eyes gleaming, her lips curled into a sneer. "You dare undo my magic?" Sifu did not flinch. "You have broken the laws of nature," she said. "Love must be given freely." Zuberi's laugh was cold. "Love is nothing but desire," she hissed, "and desire can be commanded." Then, with a flick of her wrist, she sent a blast of energy towards Sifu, but the albino Shamanka was ready. She raised her staff, absorbing the attack, her golden eyes burning with power. The battle began. The ground trembled as the two Shamankas clashed, their magic colliding in bursts of fire and wind. The spirits screamed in the air, caught between their war. Sifu moved like lightning, her dreadlocks whipping around her as she struck. Zuberi fought back, her power raw and violent. But in the end, Sifu was stronger. With one final blow, she sent Zuberi crashing to the ground. The dark Shamanka let out a piercing cry before vanishing into the wind. The moment she disappeared, Adu gasped, clutching her head. The spell shattered. She blinked as if waking from a deep sleep. "Lingo?" she whispered, tears falling down her cheeks. What have I done?" Adu and Lingo were reunited. The wedding took place and the village celebrated. But Panda was not the same. When the spell broke, something inside him cracked. He wandered the village, muttering to himself, his mind lost to the spirits. The man who once burned with desire now burned with madness. One night he walked into the forest and was never seen again. Under the stars, Sifu stood before the village. "Love is not a thing to be stolen," she said. "It cannot be forced, nor can it be bought with magic. That which is taken will never truly belong to you, and those who seek to manipulate the heart of another will always pay the price." And the wind carried her words across the land, a warning to all who would listen.
We'd like to hear from you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories. We post once a week. See you next time.